Okay, final topic of the day. I'm personally very much looking forward to talking about my early on impressions and experiences so far of playing uh, a very well made and excellent, great indie game in the Metroidvania genre called Hollow Knight, developed by an indie team called Team Cherry. Uh, they managed to get the money on a Kickstarter campaign to make Hollow Knight since 2017, 2018, released on all modern gaming platforms. And I gotta tell you, the more I played it, the more like I've had a hard time letting it go. It's really special. The art design is just amazing, like and really colorful when navigating back and forth through different levels, like these amazing deep blues, the shining greens, the eye popping pinks, and so forth. And level design is amazing. The combat may look simple, but it is very upgradable in a way. Like not like moves, just like a simple attack, but it can get stronger with like upgrades and so forth. Of course, throughout when you find different parts, different like charms kind of like ways of like upping or kind of like helping you improve the gameplay, making things simpler for you, and like also different moves and abilities like a super dashing or yeah, I remember like a super dash and like a stomp or something like that. And although it is challenging, I wouldn't call it as hard as Dark Souls, but there is some inspiration from Dark Souls with the resting on the benches and like you know defeating enemies and using its geo or similar to Souls as like currency for parts and upgrades and buying items and so forth. So I mean I've really liked it. Like I'm still very much enjoying it. It's just like it's no accident why I think, in my opinion, it's like another all-time great. It sort of has inspired me to go back to another indie Metroidvania game, Guacamelee One. That's a really fun one. It's not just a Metroidvania, like partly like a beat 'em up kind of platformer game. So it's like like it, and yeah, like the common theme of indie games, as I've always noticed, there isn't really much voice acting because they don't have the budget for cutting edge graphics, voice acting, online multiplayer. But I mean, if you give indies a chance, like they're really special because it allows them to have like creative input on how they want to make their games, and like and it's only on digital distribution, but it gives them control of like how they want to release and make their games without interference from major publishers who when you have a AAA publisher, they get financed. Studios that make AAA games get financed, but there's some creative control as well that they want to provide their own input of how the games they want to be made because of the money that being spent. So with the money they get of their own or from Kickstarter campaigns, they make the game as they like, whether it's like a platformer or some other kind. And most of the time, majority of the time, something amazing always comes up, you know? And I should mention, like, if you're someone that, even if it's not just indie games, if you're someone that likes and supports indie music, indie films, you should really check them out. I think indie films are usually shorter, but although I don't know or I've seen a lot of indie films, I mean, indie films are definitely worth it. And I think recently it caught my attention a playlist of indie pop music that's easy on the ears and just pretty good as well. Maybe not super popular, but very good songs. So anything indie that's very artistic is worth checking out. But not to get away from the Hollow Knight topic, but just playing, I'm like, wow, like I saw it got really addictive because it's just like really great. Yes, challenging, and even the boss fights are kind of challenging as well. But I would not even say as hard as Dark Souls. It's not Dark Souls difficult at all, at least in my opinion, just because of the simple nature of how it's made. But when you have more abilities and find more charms, part of the Metroidvania is like going back to places and going to areas you couldn't see or access before. So that was pretty cool. I gotta say, like, I really would recommend it. whether it's on console, Windows. I mean, damn, buy it for your Switch, yo. I mean, however you want to play. I mean, that way, if you buy it for the Switch, you can just take it on the go and play it on handheld. It's really great. Even other indie games that you could buy, they're usually cheap. But if you want to wait for sales, go ahead. I'm telling you, they're must-haves. I think now it's pretty much to say I can finally wrap up episode 17 of the Films and Pixels podcast. If you have watched and listened everything from beginning to end, really thank you so much for the time you have given to just listen to me blabber and talk about all sorts of things. It means a lot just to watch and listen to this episode. If you haven't seen previous content, previous episodes, please go ahead. Playlist is available on also still on all streaming platforms, available in the description section. Like and follow the pages. Any comment, it's good for the engagement, helps with the engagement, brings more exposure. Subscribing helps an independent channel like this for more exposure. So thank you if you have done so. It really does me a huge favor. I really would appreciate it. Share it with your friends, your family members, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your wives, your husbands, your whoever you're dating. I don't know. I don't care. Just share it with anyone and everyone. Really, thank you so much. Your best friend even. I don't know. Your siblings. Just share with anyone and everyone. Thank you so much. Until next time, thank you for watching, listening the Films and Pixels podcast, episode 17.